welcome everyone to Movement Yoga. My name is Mark Cormier. I'll be practicing with Kathy Cormier, my wife. And let's get going. Anything you all like to see, just put it in the comment section and we'll get to it. All right, welcome Kathy.
Good morning.
How are you doing this morning?
Doing great, thank you.
Excellent. Let's see, posture?
Posture, yes.
Posture, all right. Well, let's find our feet. Let's bring hands on hips. Just marching it from side to side. Give it a little kick, yeah. Give it a little high kick. Boom. Boom. Side of the foot. Other side of foot. And now grounded through both feet. Rock it from side to side. And then finding your center. Now rocking it front to back as we lift heels and lift toes. Notice how your low belly engages to keep your balance. Putting your mind in that place. And then grounded through the heels, grounded through the toes as we rock it front to back. Now circling the circumference of the feet. Taking those circles the other way. And then finding your center. I'll invite you to keep your feet nice and wide this morning, hands by our side, relax shoulders, tall from the crown of the head. And starting our practice is watching as we breathe. From a place of just watching your breath, I'll invite you to lengthen your breath, long, slow breath in. Equally long, slow breath out. As you bring air in, bringing it to the top of your chest, the base of your belly. Filling up each side waist, filling up both the front and back planes of your body. As you breathe out, invite you to engage your core as you draw the low belly in and out. Concurrently lifting the kidneys in and out, squeezing a little more air out. Most importantly, providing structural support for your low back as you move through these shapes and sequences. Now finding the go-to breath in many flow practices, slightly constricting the base of your throat, adding a slight sound and feel to your breath. It's all good. As we flow through our practice this morning, letting this slight sound and feel of your breath be a focus for your practice, the sound of which often compared to the sounds of the ocean as the waves wash in and out. Now taking the tip of your tongue to the heart palate just behind your teeth, keeping that tongue connection throughout the practice. Keeping our jaws relaxed and connecting front and back planes of our bodies. And finally, with your lips closed, adding a slight smile to your face. Opening up the front of your throat so your breath has lots of room to circulate, refresh, and revitalize. Keeping all this moving towards Sun Salutation A, we'll take it in 3 pieces. Inhaling arms out to the side and then overhead. Exhaling hands back down. 2 more times like this, breathing arms up. Exhaling arms down. Inhaling arms up. Exhaling arms down. Adding a forward fold, half sun salutation. Inhaling arms up. On the exhale, leading with the heart as you fold. Keep those knees a little bit soft. Take a breath to arc the back. Hands can cap the knees. Exhaling, arching the spine. Hands can catch the ankles or shins. Inhaling, arms out to the side and then overhead, finding your neutral spine. Exhaling, standing tall. 2 more times like this. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, finding your forward fold. Take a breath to arc the back as we lift chin and tail. Exhaling, tucking tail and chin as we raft. Inhaling, finding your neutral spine, arms out to the side and then overhead. Exhaling, standing tall. We have 1 more to go. Breathing in, lifting up. Exhaling over. Take a breath to arc. And then arching the spine as we fold again. Inhaling, finding your neutral spine, arms out to the side and then overhead. Exhaling, standing tall. Sun salutation A. Kathy, I'll ask you to go sideways and find the front of your mat. Inhaling, arms out to the side and then overhead. On the exhale, finding your forward fold. Take a breath to arc the back. Now arching the spine as we ground down through two hands and making your way to down dog. I will not cue vinyasa. As we hold this first down dog, I'll invite you to walk your dog as you bend one leg deeply into the other, grounding down to the opposite heel, and freely moving back and forth between the sides, just seeing how everything feels this morning. What feels tight, what feels right, what feels somewhere in between. From this place of movement, moving back towards relative stillness, long arms, long legs, long spine, deep full breath. Despite the lack of overt movement, you're still breathing, your heart's still beating, your mind's still moving. And by focusing on your breath as it flows in and out, finding a little more space between each breath, each beat of the heart, each spine, and filling that space with your breath. Long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Tail end of that breath, bending your knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone just a little bit higher. And then looking between the hands as you mindfully make your way front. Take a breath to create length in your eye, arcing the back. Exhaling, strong tuck of the chin as you arch. Inhaling, arms out to the side and then overhead. Exhaling, standing tall. This time I will cue vinyasa. Sun salutation A. Inhaling up. Exhaling over. Take a breath to create length. And then on the exhale, grounding on down as you find a push-up. Inhaling into a back bend, be it cobra or up dog, depending on whether the hips stay down or not. And then back over the toes. Feel free to use those knees as you find your down dog. And hold it for 5 or so long, slow breaths. As we hold down dog, either holding it in stillness, seeing what arises, or again, feeling free to walk your dog, just churning it up. Whatever feels right and good for you. If you chose movement, moving back towards relative stillness. Long arms, long legs, long spine, deep full breath. Long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail end of that breath, bending your knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone just a little bit higher. And then looking between the hands and either stepping or maybe taking a jump from. Take a breath to create length in your arm. Keeping that length as we fold again. Inhaling, hands over head pose. Exhaling, standing tall. Let's do one more sun salad. We'll throw a plank into the mix. Inhaling, arms out to the side and then overhead. On the exhale, finding your forward fold. Take a breath to create length. Keeping that length as you fold again. And cycling through vinyasa as you find chaturanga, yoga push-up. Inhaling into a back bend. And then back over the toes. Feel free to use those knees as we find our down dog or not. From down dog, feel free to hold there. For the purposes of this class in this room, I'll invite you to come forward to plank pose, finding that connection between head, hips, and heels. Finding a line of strength running from the crown of the head all the way through the center of your body and out back through those heels. Shoulders super, super, super engaged. Long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail end of that breath, navel to spine as you lift the hips high, back to down dog. for another couple of breaths. Long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail end of that breath, bending your knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone just a little bit higher. And then looking between the hands as you either step or jump it front. Take a breath to create length. Keeping that length as we fold again. Inhaling, arms out to the side and then overhead. Hands overhead pose, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhaling, standing tall. Sun Salutation B, flow style. In the opening sequence, I've added an extra breath. Hang on. Inhaling, tall spine. Exhaling, keeping tall spine, finding your chair. Inhale and hold. Exhale, go lower. Inhale, rising on up, a little back bend to the top. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to create length as we arc. Exhaling, arching the spine as you ground on down and making your way back to down dog as you go. Take your time, find your flow. Flow style, from down dog, feet together. Right leg high for the three-legged dog. High on the left toes as we stretch out Achilles tendon and calf. And then looking between the hands, pitching that lifted leg even higher. And then sweeping that right foot through, spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side, and then overhead warrior one. And then riding your next exhale back to low lunge. As you spin that back heel up. And from low lunge, back to down dog as you will, either cycling through vinyasa or just stretching straight back. Yogi's choice. Always free to stay where you are. Second side, feet together, left leg high, high on the right toes, stretching out Achilles tendon and calf. And then looking between the hands, pitching that lifted leg even higher. And then sweeping that left foot through, spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side, and then overhead warrior one. And then riding your exhale back to low lunge as you spin that back heel up. And from low lunge, back to down dog as you will. As we hold down dog, coming back to an even breath. Long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail end of that breath, bending your knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone just a little bit higher. And then looking between the hands as you step or jump it front. Take a breath to find length. Exhaling, fold. Inhaling, finding your chair, no extra breath. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up, a little back bend at the top, open heart, open throat. On the exhale, neutral spine. Hands by your side. Let's do one more Sun Sal B. Let's throw a dragon dog into the mix. Working with the extra breath on the opening sequence. Inhaling, tall spine. Keeping tall spine, finding your chair. Inhale and hold. Exhale, go lower. Inhaling, rising on up. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to create length. Keeping that length as you fold again. And making your way back to down dog as you will. Take your time. Find your flow. Follow your breath. From down dog, flow style. Feet together, right leg high. High on the left toes, stretching out Achilles tendon and calf. Either hanging here for a few breaths, or finding your dragon dog, knee to nose to knee, shoulders over wrists. And inhale, back leg long. 2 more times. Exhale it forward. Inhale it up. Exhale it forward and hold for the inhale. And then on that next exhale, getting that foot as far front as you can, spinning the back heel down, back leg long, back leg strong, inhaling up, warrior one. And then riding your next exhale, back to low lunge as you spin that back heel up. And then back to down dog as you will. From down dog, second side, feet together, left leg high, high in the right toes as we stretch out Achilles tendon and calf. And either hanging here for a number of breaths, or finding your dragon dog, exhaling knee to nose to knee, shoulders over wrists, and inhale it up. 2 more times, exhale it forward. Inhale it up. This third one, holding the knee front for the inhale. And then lots of core engagement as you step that foot front, spinning the back heel down, inhaling up, warrior one. And then riding the breath back to low lunge as you spin that back heel up. Awesome. Nice cactus arms. And yes, either cycling through vinyasa, stretching straight back. Other choices might be all fours. Another choice might be a child's pose. Always balancing your effort with your ease. Wherever you choose to work, breathing, washing that breath, and enjoying that reflection upon your breath. Long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail end of that breath, bending your knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone just a little bit higher, finding just a little more space in the low back. And then looking between the hands as you either step or jump it front. Take a breath to create length when you arrive. Keeping that length as we fold. No extra breath, knees over toes, inhaling into your chair. Exhaling, taking it lower, finding more strength in your legs. On the inhale, rising on up, a little back bend at the top. On the exhale, neutral spine. Hands by your side. I'll ask you to face the camera now. Either stepping or jumping your feet hip width apart. Hands find the hips, letting an inhale grow the shoulders up, around, back and down, open heart, open throat. And then knees soft as we find a forward fold. Peace sign fingers catch the big toes. Take a breath to arc the back. And then arching the spine as we fold and hold. As we hold, fingers to big toe pose, rocking your body weight front to back, back to front, waking up the back of your legs. And then connecting with your center of balance as you let a little more weight collect towards the toes. Staying grounded through the heels, lifting the hips higher and folding a little deeper. Neck relaxed, head super, super heavy. Letting your shoulders melt off those ribs and down towards the floor. From fingers to big toe pose, moving towards hands under feet pose. Let a breath arc the back, any amount. And then arching the spine as we bend the knees even more. And bring the palms under the soles of the feet. Toes come to the creases of the wrists. As we hold hands under feet pose, rocking your body weight front to back, back to front. And then letting a little more weight collect towards the toes. Grounded through the heels, lifting the hips higher, and folding a little deeper. Exploring the diagonals of the back as we bring left hand off to the left. Right hand under left foot, and stepping on right hand as we stretch out right shoulder and hip. Now bending right leg any amount as we step on the hand harder. Straightening right leg, bending left leg as we step on the floor harder. 2 straight legs, right hand off to the right, left hand under right foot, and stepping on left hand as we stretch out left shoulder and hip. Now bending left leg any amount as we step on the hand harder. Straightening left leg, bending right leg as we step on the floor harder. 2 straight legs, 2 hands find the floor. Take a breath to set neutral spine as we inhale, hands to hips. Exhale and hold. And then on your next inhale, keeping neutral spine, hinging at the hips, leading with back heart as we rise on up. And either stepping or jumping your feet in. I'll ask you to go sideways, Kathy. Sun salutation C, an extended standing pose sequence. Adding the extra breath, inhaling tall spine. Exhaling, keeping tall spine, finding your chair. Inhale and hold. Exhale, go lower. Inhale, rising on up. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to create length. Keeping that length as you fold again. And making your way back to down dog as you will. Deep focus. Welcome, Tiffany. Flow style, feet together, right leg high, high in the left toes as we stretch out Achilles tendon and calf. Now bringing right knee to right elbow, maybe give it a tap, maybe not. And inhale it up. Now finding a twist as we bring right to left, maybe tap it, maybe not. And then back up. Now bringing that knee center and holding for the inhalation. And then stepping that foot front, spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side, and then overhead, warrior one. In warrior one, I'll invite you to bring hands back to the hips, adjusting your stance if necessary, either going long or going a little short. How does that feel, Kathy?
Feels perfect.
Feels just right. You're, is it the middle bear? The little bear, the middle bear, the big bear. You're the middle bear right now.
Yep, me.
Perfectly.
Furry.
Perfect, perfect, perfect.
Perfectly furry.
Excellent. With your hands on our hips, we can steer our hips front hip back, back hip front. They're not going to get there, but you want to feel that energetic action. 4 fingers find the tip of a thumb, stretching out our wrists as you try to touch the front of our wrists. Now circling those bird wings. Feel free to let the elbows play. And shoulders. And taking those circles the other way. Now 4 fingers leave the tip of the thumb. Let's bring our thumbs onto our shoulders, elbows wide to the side. Just the thumbs. Yeah, it's going to be easier to circle. And circling one shoulder front and then the other. And then taking those shoulder rolls the other way. Now steering heart front and center and letting those shoulders relax onto our ribs. Finding a clasp of the fingers behind the back of the head, pressing the head hard into the hands, elbows wide to the side, open heart, open throat. Keeping that width as we stretch our hands high. From here, pulling silk threads, straightening that front leg without locking the knee as we gather up the flow. On the exhale, cactus arms as we offer it out 8 times, breathing in. Breathing out. In. Out. With the breath. Last 2, breathing in, breathing out, cactus arms. Last 1, breathing in, breathing out, cactus arms, and holding. The elbows move back, the hands come with. I'll invite you to ripple those fingers as you keep your hands supple. Moving towards our flamingo. Hands come back to the hips as we spin the back heel up for a big step in. Or a little step. Or a drag. You're in frame. Excellent. From here, letting that left thigh float high as we point the toe. Could you lift that thigh a little bit higher without leaning back? From here, moving towards our warrior 3 as we flex the foot, starting to pitch the body forward as we lengthen through that back leg any amount. Keeping the hip of the lifted leg a little bit higher than the hip of the standing leg so you don't sit in that hip so much. Either keeping hands on hips or hands find the heart. Maybe you find your airplane wings, arms out to the side. Maybe you sweep those hands front and lifting the face to look through the hands as if you're holding a large glass ball. Perhaps setting an intention for your practice. wherever those hands went, they can come back to the hips. Could you pitch the body a little bit more forward and lift that leg a little bit higher? And then softening the front knee as we sweep that foot through back to our flamingo. Take your time. You can always tap the toe down. Now taking a little bow to the knee and lengthening through that leg without dropping that thigh. Could you lift that leg a little higher? And the answer can always be no on that. Now flexing the foot as we sweep the foot back through. Coming back to warrior one with our hands on our hips, feeling free to adjust your stance. With our hands on our hips, we'll turn warrior one hips into two hips as we steer the hips sideways, kicking the back foot in for a narrower stance. And then finding one long arm, looking out past those front fingers with a steady yet relaxed gaze. If you set an intention for your practice, I'll invite you to reaffirm that intention. Now painting rainbows, straightening the front leg without locking the knee, inhaling as we gather up the flow. Exhaling warrior two, 8 times, breathing in, lifting up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. With the breath. And last 2, breathing in, breathing out. Last one, breathing in and holding that reverse warrior. Reaching up higher, reaching down further, finding more space between each rib with every breath. Mimicking your ribs with your fingers as you spread those fingers wide. Could you spread those fingers wider? Turning the reverse warrior back into warrior two. Welcome, Cynthia. From warrior two, moving towards our triangle. Thumb and forefinger finds crease of hip and base of rib. Deepening that crease, lengthening those ribs. Keeping a little spring in that knee, setting your base. Thumb in line with shin bone as we wrap the calf. Some will grab the big toe. Some will work inside or outside the foot. My favorite option is to bring bricks outside the calf, balancing up and down energy. Now using that left hand, that top hand, to rotate the ribs. Hand finds the shoulder as we open up that shoulder. Keeping that shoulder open as we stretch that hand high. Either looking down to the ground, very grounded, off to the side, or up to the sky, yogi's choice. However you choose to work the shape, with every breath in, gathering air, or gathering energy and flow into your belly, as you gather air there too. Every breath out as that air moves out of your lungs, connecting the center of yourself to the periphery of the room, finding more space in the shape from the inside out. From the triangle on 2 feet, moving towards the half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. The triangle on 1 foot. As hand finds the hip, we can soften that front knee. Either one big step, a couple of steps, or a slide in. I'll adjust the camera. Thank you for that cue. And then you want to find hand and foot first. Once you have hand and foot, you can flex the back foot as the back foot goes high. Using that top hand to rotate ribs. Opening up shoulders, stretching hand high. Again, with every breath, breathing into your belly. That's back belly, side belly, a big ball of energy in the center of yourself. And then from that big ball of energy in the center of yourself, finding more space in the shape as you connect 4 limbs at both ends of the spine to the periphery of the room. Coming down easefully, hand finds the hip. We can soften our front knee. Either one big step or a couple of steps back. Once 2 feet are down, now we can shift the weight into the feet as we come back to our warrior two. And from warrior two, a big windmill of the arms as we stretch out our shoulders, spinning back heel up for low lunge. And from low lunge, back to down dog as you will. Either cycling through vinyasa, stretching straight back, or making another choice instead. And I will adjust the camera. Kathy is very good at giving me subtle cues here. And that's awesome. Free to stay where you are, or we can add plank to our practice as we inhale forward to plank pose and hold. Again, finding that connection between head, hips, and heels. Finding that line of strength running through the center of yourself. Crown of the head, back of the heels, shoulders super, super, super engaged. Long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail end of that breath, navel to spine, engaging your core as you lift your hips high. You ready for the second side, Kathy? You want to take a break? You're good?
Sure. I'll probably grab some water or something. That's fine.
Okay. Feet together, left leg high for the three-legged dog. High on the right toes, stretching that Achilles tendon and calf. Either standing right here or left knee to left elbow. Maybe give it a tap, maybe not. And then back up, take your time. Now finding the twist left to right. And then back up. Now bringing that knee center and holding for the inhale. And the navel to spine, lots of core engagement. As you step that foot front, spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side, and then overhead. Warrior one. Now bringing hands back to hips. This is an opportunity to adjust your stance. Many of us go short, so I would lengthen my stance. Some of us go long. You might shorten your stance for a more easeful leg position. And if you're perfect, you stay right where you are. With our hands on our hips, we can steer our hips front hip back, back hip front. We're not going to get there, but you'll feel that energetic action as you engage your low belly. Now 4 fingers find the tip of a thumb. Stretching out our wrists as we circle those wrists. Let the elbows and shoulders play. Now taking those circles the other way. Now 4 fingers leave the tip of the thumb. We're going to bring those thumbs onto our shoulders, elbows wide to the side. You let those fingers relax. Yeah. And then circling one shoulder front and the other. Great place to do this with one leg forward, one leg back. We've stabilized a little bit. And then taking those shoulders the other way. Now steering shoulders and heart front and center and letting those shoulders relax onto your ribs. Finding a clasp of the fingers behind the back of the head and then walking the fingers one over for the unfamiliar clasp. And then pressing your head hard into the hands, open heart, open throat, elbows wide to the side. Keeping that width as you stretch those hands high. From here with the breath, gathering up the flow as we pull silk thread, straighten the front leg without locking knee, exhaling cactus arms. 8 times, breathing in with the breath. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. We got 2 more to go. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out and holding warrior one, legs with cactus arms. The elbows move back, the hands come with, rippling our fingers as we keep our hands supple. Enjoying the stretch. I think you're centered. From here, moving towards our flamingo, I'll adjust the camera. Hands find the hips as you take either one big step, a couple of steps, or a slide to bring that foot in. Now balancing on that left foot as the right thigh goes high as we point the toe. Ear over shoulder, ear and shoulder over hip, ear, shoulder, hip over heel as we stand tall. Could you lift that thigh a little higher without leaning back? Nice. Now flexing the foot as we move towards our warrior 3. Not yet. We're going to bring the leg back first. Pitching the body forward, lengthening that leg back, keeping that foot flexed. Long through the heel as you draw the toes towards the face. Keeping the knee of the standing leg a little bit bent to assist the ankle with your balance. Either keeping hands on hips or hands find the heart. Maybe you find those airplane wings out to the side. Free to stay right there, or sweeping the hands front, as if you're holding a large glass ball and lifting the face to look through that ball. If you set an intention, I'll invite you to reaffirm that intention. Wherever those hands went, they come back to the hips. As we come back to our flamingo, if you tap down, no big deal. Lifting that right thigh high as we point the toe. Free to stay here, taking a bow to the knee as we gather. Let the bow come from the hips, not the heart. As we draw energy into low belly, keeping low belly strong as we lengthen through the leg without dropping the thigh. Could you lift that leg a little higher? If you can't, that's okay. Now flexing the foot as you sweep it on through, either one big step, a couple of steps, as we come back to Warrior One with our hands on our hips. Steering Warrior One hips into Warrior Two hips as we steer this hip sideways. We can also kick that back foot in for a narrower stance. And then finding one long arm, looking out past those front fingers with a steady yet relaxed gaze. If you set an intention, reaffirming that intention. Now painting rainbows, straightening the front leg without locking the knee, inhaling. Exhaling Warrior Two. 8 times with the breath. Breathing in. And breathing out. Inhale. And exhale. Last 2. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last 1. Holding that reverse warrior. Reaching up higher. Reaching down further. Finding more space between each rib with every breath. Mimicking those ribs with our fingers as we spread those fingers wide. Finding more space in our hands. Could you spread those fingers wider? And then back to our Warrior Two. And we did not do Rainbow Warrior, right? First time.
We did.
Did we do Rainbow Warrior?
Oh, wait, what's Rainbow Warrior?
We clasped the fingers?
Oh, no.
We did not. We went straight to triangle. Okay. Thumb and forefinger find crease of hip and base of rib. Deepening that crease, lengthening those ribs, straightening the front leg without locking the knee. Setting your base, thumb in line with shin bone as you wrap the calf. You might work big toe, you might work inside, you might work outside the foot. My favorite version is to raise the floor to balance up and down energy with bricks outside the calf. Once we have our foundation, top hand rotates ribs, opens up shoulder, stretches high to the sky. As we hold the triangle with every breath in, gathering energy in your belly center. With every breath out from that belly center, finding more amplitude in the shape from the inside out. Connecting with the pulsation of the breath. From the triangle on 2 feet, moving towards the triangle on 1. Hand finds the hip as we move towards our half moon. Either one big step or a couple of steps in or a slide. Now I want to set handed foot first. Make sure you have that base. Hand off to the side. Once you have handed foot, now the back foot goes light as you flex that
I
foot.
think I'm discombobulated.
I'll adjust a frame here. We're good. Using that top hand to rotate the ribs. Opening up shoulder, stretching hand high, either looking down to the ground, very grounding, off to the side or up to the sky. Yogi's choice. Again, with every breath in, gathering energy in your belly center. And that's a big ball of energy. Front belly, back belly, side belly. From that big ball of energy, sending energy out into the universe. Connecting the center of yourself to the periphery of creation. Coming down easefully, hand finds the hip, either landing a short or a long stance or somewhere in between. Once 2 feet are down, now you shift the weight, coming back to Warrior Two. Looking out past those front fingers with a steady yet relaxed gaze. One more time this morning, maybe reaffirming that intention. From here, a big windmill of the arms, stretching out our shoulders as we find low lunge. And from low lunge, back to down dog as you will, either cycling through vinyasa, stretching straight back, or making another choice instead. Take your time, find your flow, follow your breath. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail end of that breath, bending your knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone just a little bit higher. And then looking between the hands as you step or take a jump front. Take a breath to create length when you arrive, arcing the back. Exhaling, arching the spine as we fold. No extra breath, inhaling neutral spine, chair pose. Back of the head in line with the sacrum, there it is. Now taking it lower as you exhale. Inhale, rising on up, finding a little back bend at the top. Open heart, open throat. On the exhale, neutral spine, hands by your side. I'll ask you to face camera, Captain. As we face camera, bringing hands to heart, a light press of your thumb against your sternum as we line up each finger. Relax shoulders, long through all sides of the neck with a soft tuck of the chin. Watching as our breath flows in. And watching as our breath flows out. Lifting the chin tall through the crown, I'll invite you to roll your hands over as we bring our hands by our side. Hands find the back of the hips, the fingers face down as we circle those hips. Taking those hip circles the other way. Now crossing the arms as we find a cross-shoulder hug, keeping the hips just as they are as we circle our shoulders. Taking those shoulder circles the other way. Coming back center, switching across to the arms, taking those circles that first direction. And then switching the direction of the circles. Coming back center, ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. Ears, shoulders, hips over heels. As we release our shoulders and stretch those hands high. Now circling the shoulders one way, hips go the other. Burning Man Asana. And then taking shoulders the other way, hips go the other. Burning Man Asana. Feeling the flow.
Environmentally friendly Burning Man.
Now back to center, stretching hands high, lifting up onto your toes. Could you get taller? Lowering the heels, hands by our side. Now stepping or jumping our feet in. Stooping down, hands cap the knees, circling our knees. Now taking those knee circles the other way. And then back to center. Hands find the hips as we cross. I know Facebook switches things up. Right leg in front of left leg in front of right for a cross step. Arms out to the side and then overhead. On the exhale, finding a forward fold. Feel free to grab bricks or soup cans or phone books. Make sure your back is supported with the strength in the arms.
I think it's slightly on one side.
I can adjust. You're pretty good. You're pretty set. As we hold the cross-legged forward fold, I'll invite you to circle those hips any amount. Inviting in more flow. Now taking those hip circles the other way. Keeping the legs crossed, setting neutral spine as you bring hands to hips on an inhale. Exhaling, hold. Inhaling, keeping neutral spine, leading with back heart as we hinge on up. Releasing the hips, and then switching across the legs. Arms out to the side and then overhead, inhaling. On the exhale, leading with the heart as we find a cross-legged forward fold. Take a breath to find length as you arc. Exhaling, arching and holding. Relaxed neck, heavy head, letting those shoulders melt down towards the floor. As we hold the cross-legged forward fold, any amount, circling those hips, inviting in more flow. And then taking those circles the other way. Now coming back center. Hands find the hips as we set neutral spine. Exhale and hold. Inhaling, keeping neutral spine, hinging on up as we stand tall with crossed legs. Releasing the hips, hands by your side. And then losing the cross of the legs. From here, stepping or jumping your feet wide. Angling the feet out. Hands find the hips as we rock it down into a half squat. Hands stay on the hips. We'll straighten one leg and then the other as we really get into those hips. And then back to center. Grounded down through the hands as we come down to all fours. I'll ask you to go sideways, Kathy. And you can lose the grips. Stretching out our spine with the cat-camel combination. Letting an inhale, lift chin and tail as we arc the back. On the exhale, tucking toes, tucking tail, tucking chin as we round it in. A couple more times like this, breathing in, lifting up. Exhaling, rounding it in. Inhaling, lifting up. Exhaling, rounding it in. Throwing a child's pose into the mix, breathing in, arcing. And then rounding the spine, sits bones back towards the heels. 2 more times like this, breathing in, lifting up. Exhaling, rounding it back. Inhaling, lifting up. Exhaling, rounding it back. Inhaling up center, now drawing the heels back, or drawing the hips back towards the heel as we find a diagonal. Inhaling up center, and then finding that other heel. 2 more times each way, breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. 1 more each way, breathing in, lifting up. Exhaling, rounding it back. Inhaling up. Exhaling, rounding it back. Now choosing a figure 8, inhaling up center, back towards a heel. Keep the hips low as you find that other heel. Up on the other diagonal, shifting shoulders and hips and back to first heel. 2 more times like this, inhaling up. Exhaling as we find our figure 8. Breathing it up. And taking it back. No rush at all. We'll take that figure 8 the other way. Up on the other diagonal. Shifting shoulders and hips and back to that other heel. 2 more times like this with your breath. After that last figure 8, I'll invite you to come to all fours. And then finding a child's pose with a stack of soft fists. Letting your forehead rest on those fists as you gently rock your hips from side to side. Keep rocking side to side as we switch the stack of the fists. And then back to center. Exhaling deeper into the shape. From here, I'll invite you to walk your hands back as you bring your feet off to one side. And a long, slow roll down onto your back as you find your Shavasana. Take your time. I'm going to ring these yoga bells 3 times. Moving your mind before you move your body. Bringing your attention back to your breath, watching as it flows in and out. Like watching clouds drift by in the sky. Now shaping your breath as you find a long, slow breath in, followed by an even longer, slower breath out. Finding a more relaxing breath with longer, slower exhalations. Now rippling fingers and toes, inviting flow into your body. Now circling wrists and ankles as we invite that flow into our center. A little shimmy of the shoulders, a little shake of the hips, whatever feels right and good for you. Connecting with your own innate sense of well-being. Now pressing your back into the mat to support the action of the legs as you draw one knee in, the other knee follows. Hands cap the knees, using our thighs to massage our low belly as we gently lift and lower the low back and hips. Front to back, side to side, little circles, whatever feels right and good for you. Now reaching back with a hand to lift and tuck the chin, keeping the neck relaxed. Hands find shins or thighs as we start to rock ourselves forward to back, back to front, massaging our spine. And then rocking on up to claim a cross-legged sit. I'll ask you to face camera. As we sit grounded down through our sits bones, hands find the knees, pulling back with the hands to settle the shoulders. Pushing into our sits bones to lift the kidneys in and up, finding just a little more space in the low back. Long through all sides of the neck with a soft tuck of the chin. I'll invite you to bring one hand onto your heart, the other hand on top. Ending our practice listening and feeling as our breath flows in and out. From this place of breath awareness, I invite you to bow as you thank yourself for practicing yoga, and as we offer our practice out to each other and to the world. The light within us honors and respects the light within you, and in this light, we are one. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you all for practicing with us.
Thank you.
Namaste. Have a nice day.